Welcome, 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 folks. Hey, I hope everyone's doing okay. Can everybody hear me okay? Is this thing even on? Heat, how's it going? Sounds good, okay. Let me just take my little logo out of here so I can see everybody. Okay. I'd love to go to TwitchCon if only if it weren't the crowds of strangers. I feel that. John Lithium, welcome. Sounds good. Okay, good, good, good. Just taking care of some stuff here at the parents' house, so I had to kind of bust an impromptu mission. And I didn't want to miss the stream necessarily, because that would be already twice in a row. Thursday, we had to spend time at the dentist, and I didn't want to really have to call off the stream again, so we went mobile. Nadia, how's it going? And it's cool because I can see everything. Be safe out there. My in-laws think we live in a battle zone because we moved into an actual city. I mean, depending on the city, you know, given the circumstances, that's kind of true. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. You guys are what makes this channel go. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate your support. You guys are what makes this channel go. Thank you. If you want to support the channel, there are many different ways of doing so. Please consider please consider hitting the like, subscribe, commenting, share, all the stuff. It really does help us out. If you want to support the channel directly, you can. Check out the merch store. Check out the exclamation mark tip. Join the Discord, folks. Join the Discord. And of course, sub to the stack, folks. Check it out. My health isn't terrible. Is terrible in general. So a day when things hurt more is not out of the ordinary at all. Oof, I'm sorry to hear that. Small city, and it's not bad at all. They're just countrified. I mean, I live in a pretty small town. And yeah, I don't. I mean, the place that we went to is more closer to the city. And yeah. Check out my show on this space tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You know what? I'm actually kind of surprised at how decent this impromptu stream has become. All things considered, I mean, it's obviously not a studio. But it looks and sounds pretty good, I think. We did have intruders the other day on our property. 6 wild turkeys came to eat the worms off the sidewalk. Nice. I haven't seen any wild turkeys in our area, in our yard. I know they're around because I've seen like families of wild turkeys around, but they They have not graced us with their presence. The pharmacists want explanations if you're using pseudoephedrine on a long-term basis. I had trouble explaining in German that worms in Mexico ate a hole in my septum, and issues have followed from that. Oof. Yikes, I'm sorry. That's rough. Whew. It is getting a little bit spicy here because it is hot, and the AC has not kicked in full speed. Not yet. And it is hot. It is hot, hot. Well, I'm trying to walk the line of keeping the 3 stories of this place cool and not spending our whole paycheck on power. Yep. I heard that the best way of doing that is just setting one temperature that everyone agrees on and just leaving it. I strongly suspect that the worms did damage in a couple of other places that are even more awkward to deal with. Oof. Ouch. I found 76 to be pretty cozy. Yeah, 76 is good. I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. It's getting to 27 tomorrow. Yeesh. I'm assuming that's Celsius, in which case it's pretty hot. Yeah, it's pretty crispy. I mean, here it's even what is that in non-freedom units exactly? Here it's pretty hot. It's above 90, I can tell you that. Above 90 Fahrenheit, so I imagine what close to 30 something in Celsius. Had to go back to 78 recently due to energy bill rate hikes. Yeesh. Big oscillating fans too. That'd be very dead territory. How much is 90 degrees, 90 something in Celsius? Or sorry, I'm sorry. That was my I misspoke. 90 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius. 90, we'll say like 95 is what close around here as to what we have here. That's about, yeah, it was about 30 something, 35 degrees. 35 degrees Celsius. George Waters, welcome. Seth Evans, welcome. 30 degrees Celsius, roughly about 90. Yeah, yeah, 30-ish. It's about 30, 35. The only thing that I have problems with is sharing. Um, oh, I can share my screen. What if I want to share a? What if I want to? Oh, I can. What if I want to do this? Can I do that? Oh yeah, I can. Ladybug, welcome. I can actually share stuff like this. Now, can I change it? Customize, maximize. What if I maximize? Is it too much for this little guy? Well, we'll just minimize. Oh, this is so cool. Okay. Fireside chat, let me gather more sticks. See, I can even put tropical ding dong. Welcome. Fireside chat, what's on fire? Yeah, I suppose the better question is what's not. Well, I suppose we can do some articles, right? Before we get on out of here. We can do some articles, hang out a little bit. So what if I just go like this? Okay, so I can just move myself here. And I can share my screen. Aha! Okay. We're getting somewhere. We're cooking with gas over here. The U.S. Constitution? Yeah. That's dead and gone, folks. That is dead and gone. Have you guys seen what's I just saw a Kyle Kalinske video on my way here, and the videos that he's been that he posted, just some dystopian stuff, like some truly authoritarian stuff, where we have masked goons just arresting people, assaulting people, Um, there was an incident where a bunch of these ice goons decided to open fire on a car that they stopped. The reason why they stopped that car or that truck is unknown, really. Like the actual legal reason. Most likely the crime that was committed was driving while brown. Was most likely the crime being committed, and obviously, uh, these masked goons did not identify themselves, and that tends to freak people out because you just don't know who these people are. You really don't. Like, if you just see like a bunch of unmarked cars that don't have any type of police, that doesn't have any type of police identification, just jump out with a bunch of armed thugs that have no visible identification. To me, that sounds like you're about to get kidnapped. That sounds like you're about to get kidnapped because it's happened before. Um, and the guy, he freaked out as a normal person would, that was a reasonable response to armed masked thugs coming at you, is to try to run. Not there's you can watch the video. You don't have to believe me. You can watch the video. They claimed that the officer opened fire because he was threatening to run over the ICE agents, when the video doesn't show that at all. And second of all, there's reasonable fear, especially if you don't identify yourself, that you're about to be kidnapped or worse, or killed by someone pretending to be law enforcement. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's unclear why they stopped that vehicle, and it's unclear what the crime really was. And unfortunately, you're going to get more incidents like that. Oh, my light just died. Now I'm just very dark. That's unfortunate. That's okay. There have been rulings in the past that police that failing to identify themselves can pretty much be defended against like any other assailant with lethal force. Oh, 100%. Like the fact that that hasn't happened is truly like surprising. That's the surprising part. That the fact that that hasn't happened, because inevitably they're gonna assault the wrong person. Given that there's more guns than people in this country, I think that it is pretty surprising that it hasn't happened. I would not count on such precedents to continue to be upheld. No, I mean I wouldn't, but I'm just saying, like, if you feel threatened, if your life is in danger, I mean, you don't know who these people are, right? Like, would it be unreasonable to try to defend yourself? Like, if you read a headline that, like, there was some kind of, like, I don't know, exchange of gunfire between, like, officers and people trying to be arrested because they didn't identify themselves, and there was a shootout and an exchange of bullets, would you be surprised? No, not really, because these people aren't identifying themselves. And, I mean, I'm just surprised that it hasn't happened at all. Not really. It is a dark time. Yeah, that's right. Kidnapping women, pretending to be ICE agents. That definitely a thing that happened. Not unreasonable at all. Perhaps we have the responsibility and obligation to resist. 100%. I mean, like that's why people are organizing. That's why people are in the streets in DC right now. That's why people are in the streets in DC right now protesting this stuff. One second, folks. I'll be right back. It'll just be a moment. All right. Sorry about that. And I took the opportunity to get myself a drink. Let me just put myself back on my headphones. Yeah, sorry folks. Once again, look at this. I can barely see myself. Anyways, Monep, welcome. Get me a pop while you're up. Well, cheers. I have seltzer water if that's okay. Did you bring some for everyone? We've got about 19 people combined here. We've got about 19 people combined. You're all welcome to some lemon lime seltzer. Yeah, I can't even get myself to. That's okay. My little light had my little light died, so it is what it is. But mission accomplished, folks. I'm all that static water lifestyle. A difficult truth after dark. Yeah, it's a it's a different stream, folks. It's a different type of stream. But you know what? The show goes on, folks. The show goes on. It's either spooky truth hours or you're turning into Noob Saibot. I know, it's the lighting. It's funny because the way the desk is in this particular room, which happens to be the only room with a desk, that isn't like the kitchen. The light is right behind me. So yeah. That's how it is. You know, I was gonna put on my classic beanie, but it's too hot, folks. It's just too hot. It's too hot in here, and the AC hasn't gotten itself situated yet. Yeah, kitchen stream. It's not as comfortable as sitting up on a desk. But anyways, I mean, look, it's not, as long as you guys can hear me good. Then you know the visual is what it is. These are dark times as it is. Hermit Horologist, welcome. Are you in prison now? Did Sam Cedar kick you out from under his desk? He did for today. He did for today. I was caught. I was caught trying to enter the studio as he was leaving, and it is what it is. I'm genuinely surprised that my light died so quickly. Oh wait, hold on. It might die like just it might die quickly, but whatever. At least it's some light. Yeah, that's quite a possibility. But yeah, just mind the TOS. That's close. Let's see how long this flashlight, this little light lasts, but whatever. That sort of incident will get used as a pretext for mass escalation 100%. In fact, I would argue, oh, there it goes. It's dead again. That's okay. In fact, I would argue that they want something like that to happen. They want something like that to happen so that they can, really put the foot down. This stuff isn't beyond the realms of possibility. We're in crazy dark times. 100%. Yeah, I mean, in fact, like I said, I would argue that they want something like that to happen. They would salivate over the idea because then they get to really say, now we can say that there's this unprecedented level of domestic terrorism that needs to be dealt with. Tie that into with illegal immigration enforcement, and then that's it. That's all. That's it. GG, everybody. The point is they're trying to create some sort of problem to provide the pretext for further escalation. Yeah, exactly. Exactly it. They'll say that anyway. Yeah, exactly. They'll say, oh, these left-wing domestic terrorists, whatever, open borders, brown people have invaded the country with cartels and gangs and MS-13. And so anyways, we're going to do the whole full-on fascism thing, regardless of what people want or not. And that's it. And that's the end of it, Oh, is the key to just put myself behind the light? Wait a minute, chat, I think I figured it out. Okay. Oh. Professional streamer finds out about how lighting works. Now you have a halo? Yeah. How is that headline even legal? Can Louisiana go to New York and arrest someone for an abortion? Nope. They can try, but no. That's not how that works, which is why I'm bringing this up. Welcome, Soul Life. At least he knows about audio. Look at that. I didn't even need the light. Maybe if I just got to stay put. As long as I stay put, it'll be okay. B-Cat, welcome. Eek. Here we go. I mean, that's about as good as I can get it, right? Am I still kind of in focus? Whatever. Anyways, let's get started, folks. Let's get through some of these things. Is this legal? I guess so, because the governors are the ones that are authorizing this kind of stuff. Louisiana becomes the sixth GOP-led state to authorize troop deployment to D.C. Why? Because of reasons, apparently. Um, and just to be clear, like um, they're not even sending these troops into quote crime-ridden areas. Um, I mean, it's just to show force. That's it. Three more Republican governors authorized the deployment of National Guard troops on Washington as part of President Trump's show of force, meant to crack down on crime, which that's not a thing. That's not what he's doing. And boost immigration enforcement in the nation's capital. The announcement by Mississippi, Tennessee, and Louisiana to bring the number of state troops detailed to the president's effort to more than 1,100. Governors from the states said they were responding to requests from the Trump administration. It was not immediately clear why the administration requested additional support, because again, it's not like they need to declare de facto martial law for crime, right? Like the police force can deal with this. Because if that was the case, we'd be deploying the National Guard in like the red states too, right? I was gonna make a Bohemian Rhapsody joke, but you have light now. I see the silhouette, a little silhouette of a man, Scaramouche. Oh, I don't know the lyrics. Can you do the fandango, thunderbolts and lightning? Very, very frightening. The music drowns out the bad news. Yep. The red state's National Guard's invading blue states' interesting got its trial run in D.C., which is not a state. Yeah. Interesting. That's a very good point. That is a very, very good point. Yeah, Fireside chat. Dan anonymously, welcome. I see a little silhouette of a difficult truth. The thing I got forewarned in mid-January had red states National Guards getting deployed in blue states for a variety of reasons. Arrest warrants against doctors for abortions and trans medicine. Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if like that becomes pretext for like other stuff, right? I mean, it's always inevitably going to lead. All roads lead to minorities being oppressed, right? Because they're minorities, and these people are fascist bullies who want to pick on people, who want to pick on queer people, who want to pick on uh, brown people, who want to pick on black people. It's all roads lead to that. Careful, you can get a copyright claim by merely singing a rendition of some songs. If they consider that singing, then I've got a bridge to sell them. If they considered that singing, I've got a bridge to sell them. I keep thinking California needs our own army. At that point, it would actually be civil war. I mean, like I heard uh, Kyle Kalinske put it. I heard Kyle Kalinske again. I was watching this video before I got here. Kyle Kalinske put it this way: it's like we're already, um, It's like we're already in a civil war. In a it just one side is playing that game. It's just one side playing that game. And, you can do that. California can create its own national guard, its own state guard. Florida did it. There are, there are, there is precedent for that, for states creating their own state guard under the governor's control. The idea was deliberate mission creep was planned so that moving in at first for immigration will start getting anti-abortion, anti-trans stuff tacked onto it. 100%. I don't doubt that. To be clear, I don't doubt that at all. At all. If you've seen what the kind of stuff that they're talking about, they haven't forgot about the anti-trans stuff. That's still there. 100%. I have come around the house today, my left eye to know justice, to a difficult truth. Look at that. Wow. What a journey, JK. From no justice across the pond, you made the journey. Donald James, welcome. Queen are notoriously protective, FYI. To be fair, like if they think that my 2-verse rendition uh, of Bohemian Rhapsody was worthy of copywriting, I think I might actually take that as a compliment. Although, like, if you think that that was singing, oh my god, I guess that would be like compliment, because by no means should that ever be seen as singing. I mean, that would be embarrassing. It's not going to be a civil war because there's only one really side fighting. It's going to be a Holocaust. Yeah, it's exactly what Kyle Kalinske was pointing out, that like only one side seems to be playing the game. You know what I mean? 100%. Radman. He's living his truth with that boy band. Here, you mean Kyle? I don't know what he's. Look, listen. Godspeed to Kyle Kalinske. If that's him. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the bleach hair. Of Kyle's commentary, but when I see his bleach hair, he looks like he should be playing in a SoCal ska band. I mean, like, look, no hate. If that's his style, if that's what he likes, but it just couldn't be me. He did it as part of a Halloween costume and never went back. I felt bad when he was clinging to Rogan. I think he thought he could help him, but finally just snapped when it didn't work. I'm just saying that California needs its own army. ICE is not welcomed here. I think every blue state needs its own state guard. I'm not even joking. And I think Kyle Kalinske also said something to the effect of, and I'm vaguely paraphrasing. I'm vaguely paraphrasing, but he said something to the effect of like Democratic leadership needs to be talking to whatever sympathetic military personnel possible, like military generals and stuff like that, because like again, I mean we're dealing with fascists, right? And these are not people that are just gonna go away, and we have to consider that possibility. Someone told me they weren't a fan of blondes. I'm crying, but it's okay now. No, it's not even like it's not even not being against. It's not even being against blondes. It's like It's just like I don't know. I don't know. Personally, I don't like that kind of you know bleached look. But whatever. Yeah, Kyle Klinsky probably wore a Guy Fieri flame shirt to prom. The military has been taken over by far beyond loony crystal fascists. They're charismatic speaking and tongue snake handling types. Yeah, but like, maybe that's what I'm saying. We need our own state guards, from blue states, not from not from the military, but like create like Florida. Like Florida created its own state guard. That they said the pretense for Florida was that they needed some kind of like state guard. They created this under the Biden administration. And Ron DeSantis he had a huge hand in making this. Um because Ron DeSantis is like, oh well, we just need a state guard, to help with hurricanes or whatever. Um, so I mean, if they can say that, then I think that it's fair to say that maybe uh, blue states blue states need their own state guard too. George Waters is still singing. Colony bleaches hair because Crystal, she said it reminds her of Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell, and that is weird. I mean, hey, Godspeed to them. Charismatic meaning gifted in Greek, where immunity to poison, speaking in tongues are magic powers people are said to have. Well, I mean, yeah, these people definitely, definitely have a way, with that, a way with the words, I guess. I'm not blonde anymore. Really, I miss it because I do see my gray hairs now. Who cares? Believe it or not, there's a couple of gray hairs that are starting to show. For me, I don't care. I really don't. I love my grays, all two of them. State sponsored Gestapo. I should name them. I mean, if it gets to that point, Nadia, then they can be they can rule on a empire of ashes. If that's the end game, then they can rule on a pile of ashes if they want. Uh, just notice I was 2 minutes behind. It's easy when you have no scruples and just lie. Yep, lying is OP. The right is accelerating the timeline for appearance of gray hairs in the general population. States don't have the budgets to fight the regular military, National Guard, and federal provided assault vehicles. Yeah, but I mean, it's not. You don't meet fire with fire necessarily. Um, and either way, I think I think it's still a pretty admirable um, goal to kind of provide some kind of civil defense to the extent that you can. You know, whether it's successful or not is a different story. Ooh, excuse me. I'd pay $1,000 for ringside tickets to fight between Kyle Kalinske and Crystal on one side and Jen Canada on another. No, I wouldn't pay a dime on that. Like, please, like, please let just Jen and Anna go. Please, just let them fade. Let them fade out of existence. Out of relevance. Please, please. Just let them fade into out of relevance. And Yuger comes in with a chair. All right. They're still getting 5K viewers on their stream every day. That's actually kind of bad if you really think about it. Not, not that 5,000 viewers is small by any means. But like TYT is supposed to be like a media, like a whole media operation, right? TYT is like a whole media operation. And you would imagine that those views would be probably like maybe double that. And it shows, it shows that what their right wing pivot, it doesn't pay. It doesn't pay. People are leaving them. Are there going to be people left? Yeah, but it's not going to be the same. Still do many. I agree. I'm just saying, like for a media apparatus, I would imagine that you would have more. They're second to maybe only Sam Cedar, and they're what, like Sam's channel in comparison is like a sixth of that. Yeah, 6 million. For supposed media empire, TYT's numbers are pathetic. Yep. When do they close the doors and make it just a website only? Make it, yeah, like essentially, it can't come soon enough. They're trying to build an empire. The millionaires with command and control and end timers are trying to end the world as part of a spell to summon Jesus. Yes. Yep. That there's literally like a whole death cult dedicated to this whole thing. There's like literally a whole death cult dedicated to this kind of stuff. It's kind of like why they support Israel, because they think that the Israel has something to do with bringing the end times, which would bring Jesus back or something. It's a whole thing. It's actually wild. Yeah, Sam's doing like 3 to 5K daily. Yep, that's on YouTube. Plus like I'm on Twitch. So they do about 1,000 something. Just like 1,000, I don't know, 1,000 something, like low to mid 1,000. So you can add that on top because they're on Twitch. The real problem is actually one of time. 100% is because of there isn't an afternoon progressive news show. All the rest outside TYT are morning shows. I mean, hello, we're here. We're here. Help us be that thing. I still posit that Anna and Jenk will never shut down TYT willingly. Oh, I agree with that. I 100% think that that's probably the case. Much like the TYT network, John. Yeah. I feel bad for John Adorla. I'm never gonna be able to pronounce his name right. Iadorla. I know chat has told me how to pronounce his name several times. But yeah. TYT runs nightly over here, but I mean 9 to 10 hours ahead in time zone. Yeah, and I know that TYT does like also run on like online TV. Is it Pluto? I forget. Pluto or Samsung TV. Those online channels. They run there too. Are we talking live? Because they had 33K views today. Yeah, I mean like the live channel. Idarola. Johnny P is easier if you want. The leader of the Dragon Squad, okay? Jesus. Um, I think he needs to be Dragon Daddy. There you go. There you go. Um, the Dragon Daddy. Man, someone has to rescue him. Someone has to rescue him. You did it! Awesome. Only comparing live numbers, raw views are hard to compare apples to apples. Yeah. I'm just talking about like the live shows. John's been put in a precarious position because of Anna and Jank. I don't envy him. I hope. I really hope that they rescue him. I don't know what's in that contract, okay? Because if I was John, I'd be trying to find my way out. I'm just saying. I'm guessing one of the reasons John sticks around is that he has some health conditions and need health insurance. Oh, I hope not. I mean, I don't know, but I hope not. He has a family. That's yeah. I mean, that's also a completely valid reason. Because capitalism, basically kind of puts you in this precarious position constantly, even if he may or may not want to leave TYT. I mean, even I don't have any health conditions, and I don't have any health conditions, and I don't have children. But if I don't work, I don't have a house. I don't have a roof. I don't have food. So yeah, it's capitalism does kind of put you in those chains. Someday a difficult truth will hit 40,000 live. Whew. You can put that up there. You manifest that. Wolf Glen, welcome. All right, folks. To the extent that we have some time here, let's put up. Let's continue this story here. It was not immediately clear why the administration requested additional support. About 800 troops have already been called to Washington and have limited assigned roles so far as Trump's 10-day attempted takeover of D.C. law enforcement. Joining forces from 3 Republican-led states, the Mississippi and Tennessee National Guard will deploy 200 and 160 troops respectively to Washington as part of Trump's ongoing federal policing and immigration overhaul in the nation's capital. Mississippi's Governor Tate Reeves, in a statement, said that he approved deployment of approximately 200 Mississippi National Guard soldiers to Washington, D.C. Crime is out of control here, and it's clearly something must be done to combat it. Yeah, clearly, like the National Guard. Like, hey, what is the crime rate of Mississippi? And do we need to like send in the National Guard? Hey, here's a question: what is the crime rate? Uh, what is the crime rate of Florida? What is the crime rate of Miami? I agree, Nadia. I agree. You better light something on fire before ending this stream. I don't think I can. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hmm. Maybe. Maybe. I don't think I can though. I don't think I have it handy. Do candles count? I literally was looking around the room for that. Uh no, I don't think I have something like that. His entire show and brand is a match for TYT, even though John 100% built it up. Yep. Want to find crime? Look in the Epstein files. Apologies for shouting, but Trump is a nonce. 100%. Florida has no crime. Sniff, sniff. White powder sugar off my face. Yeah, Florida apparently, Florida's crime. Like seriously, look at the Miami crime rate, and compare that and say whether or not we need National Guard there. Apparently, um, I'm dead in 48 hours when my medicine drip stops. Jeez, Nadia. I suppose better being in Europe than here. Every Saturday night, better in Germany than here. Better every Saturday night, 10,000 unconvicted felonies take place in Miami alone. Yeah, I mean, like, are we sending in like the National Guard for that? Because crime is out of control or whatever. Um, no, of course not. Remind, ooh, excuse me. Remind people to subscribe. You're only 4 from 400. Really? Well, there's your call to action, folks. We need 4 people. Look up missionary law in Florida. I wish I didn't. Yeah, secondary accounts do count. Yes. You know, it really should get the National Guard sent in, but doesn't. Above 1K median rent, 100%. But do we care about that? Nope. Not at all. Crime is out of control, and it's clear something must be done to combat it. A spokesperson for Tennessee Governor Bill Lee said the governor granted a request from the Trump administration, for the state's National Guard members to assist with monument security. Monument security. Monument security. You mean what kind of monuments would need protecting, I wonder? What kind of monuments would need securing, I wonder? Hmm. Gotcha. That's just a testament to my ignorance on how immigration works in Europe. That is just me showing my ignorance on how that works in Europe. They're worried someone was going to steal the Washington Monument. Yeah, that's it. That's what they're guarding. Um, to assist with monument security, community safety patrols, protecting federal facilities, and traffic control. Because, cops can't do that, apparently. The troops are ready to assist as long as needed, the governor said. Mississippi and Tennessee joined 3 other states that pledged to deploy hundreds of National Guard members to the nation's capital to bolster the Republican administration's operation to aim to transform policing in the Democratic-led city through a federal crackdown on crime and homelessness. Let's just be clear. Like, this is... let me... let me be very clear. I think that the framing of this needs to be kind of pushed back on, because we're not talking about crime and homelessness necessarily. Not really. Hey, off-world colonists, welcome. Word the Constitution. Where's Nick Cage? I mean, it's not really about that, right? It's about projecting power. That's what this is about. This is about projecting power and authoritarianism. Like this is absolutely not about any kind of actual like policing. Like we're like I mean just the face of it is a farce. It's illogical to say that. Like, do we really believe do we really believe that like crime in DC is so out of the ordinary? um is so out of the ordinary that we need like a full-on like National Guard? Like, no, nobody believes that. That's nonsense. Like, why? Who? Like, no one believes that. The point is power, and this is an authoritarian power grab. That's what this is. I thought Trump had the Constitution in his bathroom. Feels that way. Pretty much. Might as well. That's exactly what he's using it for. They'll probably put up statues of Jefferson Davis and Robert E. Lee, and possibly even Albert Pike and Nathan Forrest. I mean, they literally, they literally said that they wanted to put back a monument of a Confederate general back because it was taken down because that Confederate general was shown in a very positive light. I think we even went over this story about the statue of the Confederate general in D.C. in the Capitol. We're not talking about like historical, like this is what this guy stood for, this is what this guy was about. Nothing of that sort. It was painting him in a very positive light. And not even in Confederate military. He was put in civilian clothes, put as like some kind of philosopher, philanthropist kind of guy, when in reality he was just a racist garbage traitor who helped a traitorous and disgusting cause. And that's what the White House and this administration is ordering to put back. In fact, that statue is probably set to be back in a couple months from now. I honestly forget the timeline, but the point being is that he ordered that to be put back. If you wrote a modest proposal today, the satire would be lost on the right. They would think it's actually a good idea. 100%. It sounds like Albert Pike. I forget honestly. Um, I can look it up. Oh yeah, it was Albert Pike. Nadia is 1,000% correct. Nadia is 1,000% correct. So, anyways, as I was going with this, yeah. So the media really needs to let go of this because this is not about crime at all. So they need to stop like about this as if this was about crime, like legitimizing the administration's motives. West Virginia said it was deploying 300 to 400 troops. South Carolina pledged 200, and Ohio said it will send 150 deployments that built on top of President Trump's initial 800 as part of the quote federal intervention. Trump's executive order that launched a federal operation declared a crime emergency in the District of Columbia and initiated a takeover of Washington's police department. The administration has ordered local police to cooperate with federal agents on immigration enforcement, orders that would contradict local laws prohibiting such collaboration. Federal agents have arrested 160 undocumented people in the district since the operation began, including people the White House officials allege are known gang members with prior felony offenses. Do we know? I don't know. I don't know. It's unclear. Everything is like it's BS with these people. The nation's capital can govern itself through powers delegated to it by Congress. Oh, sorry, I missed this part here. The executive order has led friction with local government and heightened tensions in the community. A surge of federal agents in the capital's garner praise and protest from residents. The nation's capital can govern itself through powers delegated to it by Congress, though the federal law that grants the autonomy give wide berth to the president and Congress to intervene when they see fit. That long-standing tension has led to a legal standoff between local officials and the White House in the current troop deployment and surge of federal officers in the district. The city's attorney general sued the administration for appointing the head of the DEA as city's emergency police commissioner. The administration walked back that move, but then issued a follow-up order that directed local police to typo, Jesus, on the AP? Seriously? Yikes. To cooperate fully and completely with federal immigration authorities. Look, I'm not like some kind of like, writing prodigy, but geez, that's a kind of a yikes. That's a big yikes. Agency media and truth. That would be something new. I mean, it's true in a sense. In the objective like story. I'm just saying that the way that you talk about what's happening also matters. You know what I mean? Like this stuff is happening. This stuff is true. In the sense that, like, yeah, all these states are cooperating with the administration, and they're sending these troops in, and this is what's happening. But like, unreadable, AP owned, burnt. True. Yeah, the framing and how you talk about it matters. I think. I'm just me. Welcome. DC has been has been under siege from thugs and killers, but now DC is back under federal control where it belongs. I'm confused because I mean, he makes it seem like DC is like the scene of like a scene from The Purge, the movie, constantly. When of course that's not the case. The White House is in charge. The military and our great police will liberate the city, scrape away filth, and make it safe, clean, and habitable, and beautiful once more. because it wasn't before, I guess. You know, it's unclear what Trump has been doing in the past, 7 months. Um, I guess he hasn't paid attention, and all of a sudden now it's a crime-ridden area that needs to be liberated. Um, People get weird when I answer history and science category of things. I wouldn't find that weird. I was literally on a quiz show once. Nice. The Guardian's heading down the same road. We're gonna have no mainstream media at all soon. Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to like assume that a lot of what we read and what we're looking at is going to be tilted to the right, even if it's like more centrist kind of leaning publications. I mean, like even the AP sometimes gets like a little bit wonky with the framing, and the AP is pretty more or less, you know, in the middle in the sense that it kind of just tells you the story. In fact, a lot of publications just kind of rip off what the AP says. Um, so yeah, the rank and file right is functionally illiterate. True. This whole Project 25, they actually had a game plan this time. Yep. Not just like the game plan, but the timing of it. Really, also for them is perfect. During a Monday news conference, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser pushed back on Trump's characterization of the city and voiced skepticism about the administration's intention in flooding the Capitol with troops and federal agents. We don't have authority over D.C. Guard or any other guards, but I think it makes the point that this is not about D.C. crime. Bowser said of the administration and states deploying National Guard members into the streets. The focus should be on violent crime. Nobody is against focus on driving down level of any violence, and it's just really about immigration enforcement. The administration should make that plain. But like, stop thinking that this is that this is like the framing. Like, do you think that he really cares about violent crime? Do you really think that this is about violent crime? National Guard members in D.C. have been assisting law enforcement with tasks including crowd control and patrolling landmarks such as the National Mall and Union Station. Their role has been limited thus far, and it remains unclear why additional troops would be needed. They're not. They're not really. It's a show of force. That's it. A National Guardsman on Saturday stopped an assault on a parked police officer who was directing traffic. The National Guard said in a statement the guardsman then detained the person and turned them over to local police, marking at least one incident when troops have intervened and engaged law enforcement. Wow. Wow. Federal agents from the DEA, the Gestapo, and the FBI, Secret Service, and other agencies have patrolled high traffic areas over the Capitol in the last week. ICE officers who work under the DHS have made arrests in neighborhoods across the city, dispersed some public gatherings, and torn pro-immigrant signs. Wow. Really keeping America safe. Uh, really keeping America safe. I'm still at the office. My boss made me wait for the crew to get packed to bill out all the rail cars tonight, even though his words have to be done before 11 a.m. tomorrow. I bet I won't find an Uber now. Yeeks. Yikes. What was the fourth highest military rank in the Tanzimat period of the Ottoman Empire? Born in the fourth century AD and captured at 16 in England and sold as a slave in Ireland. I have no idea. I'm bad at trivia. Like, I know some stuff, but I'm very bad at trivia. Washington, D.C. is Washington. The White House has touted various arrests that local police and federal agents have made across the city since Trump's executive order. Federal agents have made 380 arrests since in this week since the start of the operation. In some cases, issued charges to detain people. The White House has touted the surge of agents on social media and posted pictures of people arrested by local and federal officers. Maybe music. Oh, I'm pretty good at music. Trivia probably. I mean, it depends on the music, right? Washington, D.C. is getting safer every night thanks to our law enforcement partners, said attorney Pam Bondi wrote on social media this weekend. 137 arrests were made and 21 illegal firearms were seized in total. There have been nearly 400 arrests, and we're not slowing down. Amid the crackdown, the administration received criticism for the conduct of some federal agents who, in high-profile incidents, have arrested people who are wearing masks that hide their identity and decline to identify themselves to the media or members of the public when questioned. Yeah, that might be a problem. You know, that might be a source of criticism. That might be a source of criticism. You know, armed men who fail to identify themselves, just randomly picking people off the street. Yeah, I think there might be some criticism on that, just a little bit. You know what I mean? Saint Patrick. Oh my goodness, I would have never guessed that. I would have never guessed that. Bowser said on Monday that she had asked DC Police Pamela Smith to seek answers from the administration about using the use of mass police. Yeah. We'll get back to you. We'll get back to you on that. I mean, Jesus, like, wake up, people. These are not normal times. Over the weekend in Washington, protesters demonstrated against federal law enforcement and the National Guard fanning out in the city. Hundreds of protesters gathered in the city's DuPont Circle on Saturday and marched to the White House. On Monday, dozens of protesters gathered in the U Street neighborhood of Washington, where multiple federal agents, patrols, and arrests have taken place over the weekend to protest the administration's actions. Yeah, but do you want the trains to run on time? Uh, do you love America? Do you want to see a safe United States? I feel so much safer now. I feel so much safer. Watch University Challenge every week. Don't get as many as I used to, but last week got the string theory question right. Happiest little butterfly after that. Oof. All right, folks. You know, it's been going pretty stable, given all things given. Um, given that I'm running off mobile internet. So we'll take advantage of it with this last story here. Um, let me see here. How do I? They probably got the same grass snakes. Oh, grass snakes are awesome. I'm just seeing this Nadia now. Just give me a second. Who said that? Supposedly, I don't know if it's like an actual quote or if it's a modified quote, but supposedly Benjamin Franklin, I want to say. Um, Before we get to this story, actually, this is actually very very important here. Let me flip over. There we go. The Department of Justice is escalating its effort to pressure states to hand over sensitive voter data, including by threatening legal action, according to letters from top department officials obtained by Democracy Docket. So yeah, I mean they're starting to this is I guess a broad effort to since you know the since Trump's plan of finding 5 additional seats seems to not be working 100%. They're going in different directions at the same time. Uh, the link says the Department of Justice is escalating the efforts to pressure states to hand over sensitive data, including threatening legal action. It's the latest step to Trump administration's ongoing quest to obtain state voting information to bolster its hunt for illegal voting. Of course, that's a non-issue, to be honest. Over the past few months, the DOJ has sent dozens of states with plans to eventually contact all 50 states, demanding access to voter registration lists and proof of compliance with federal voting laws. The unusual inquiry has raised a serious concern among state election officials and voting rights experts who question the legality of the effort. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a big problem, I would say. Um, Sisyphean task, welcome. There's a Burmese python apocalypse going on in Florida, 100%. As someone who has ties, very, very close ties to Florida in the sense that I grew up there, and I have a lot of friends and family there. Yeah, it's bad. It's not good. Um, it's pretty bad. It's a huge problem. Hurricane Andrew destroyed a farm that led a group of 500 to 900 into the wild at once. At time, the pet owner setting one loose that got big. Yeesh. X history. You look like a leftist. What does a leftist look like? I'm confused. I don't know what a leftist looks like. I'm not. I don't understand what that means. There's a raw milk outbreak in Florida too. Well, that kind of tracks. Hmm. They're not exactly the they're not exactly the sending their best over there. The Burmese python apparently succeeded in eating just about every other form of life in the state. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. My condolences. I'm sorry too. I'm sorry too, especially what Florida's is right now. It has been for years. It was that one farm letting the huge group loose. The individual pet owners were not the issue. Well, I mean, in a broad scheme of things, one person may not be the issue, but yeah, I could totally see that, especially during Hurricane Andrew. Several, species got loose that way. Several species got loose that way. My instinct said it. Uh, I mean, instinct is spelled with C's, with a C, not a K. But again, what is um what is what does a leftist look like? I'm confused. If Trump really wanted to clean up DC, he'd round up all the potheads. They stink up the whole town. Again, I don't even know what that means. Like, is there like a pothead problem? And even if, who cares? Jesus, B-Cat. Laziness, shiftless potheads ruin it for everyone. Is that like actually accurate, or is that just your perceived imagine or your perceived perception of what a pothead looks like? Is that just, oh, who cares? I mean, so yeah, truth be damned, right? Is what you're saying. That's kind of low effort, low energy, low energy. Boo. Potheads pass out in parks and stumble into traffic. Yeah, you've got evidence for that. You've got evidence that there's an epidemic of potheads that are stumbling out into traffic and passing out in parks. Sure, that sounds like a pothead thing. That's never been a widely applicable stereotype. It's not, because it's not true. They're a public safety hazard. I think you're a public safety hazard. That's too boring. That's too boring because they have I can't hold on. I because they have Democrats news open. Democrats. I don't know what a Democrats news is. What is that? Michael Hasser, welcome. Democrats. Oh, because they have Democrat news. Oh, wait. What news is Democrat news? I'm confused. Is there an outlet that's specific from like the Democratic Party? Uh, raw milk is an abortion workaround, apparently. Really? Well, don't tell the right that, because they were just all about raw milk. What is open? Blue Sky is open. Blue Sky is not Democrat media. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no such thing as Democratic media. DemocracyDocket.com is open. So Democracy Docket is a media that reports on legal issues. I'm confused. That is not Democrat media. I'm so confused. Anyways, a source with knowledge confirmed that Democracy Docket and other states received similar letters from Dillon in the past week. So they're trying to collect voter information, and the reason why they want voter information is because they want to skew the scales. Republicans, conservatives, they know that they're in trouble. They know that their policies are not popular. So they're trying to attack what semblance of institutions are left by doing things like, for example, the president going up to the governors and asking them to redistrict seats for the Republican Party. They're trying to finagle voter rolls, right? By saying, oh, we need to take a look at your data and we need to see if you're complying with federal laws. We just need to see, right? Even though there's no evidence of any widespread voter fraud, we're just concerned about elections. They can't win without cheating. Exactly. I also just got my Max Left hat from Sam Cedar. Nice. Rigging. Exactly. I timed them out because I said no links in chat. Honestly, that person's not gonna go very far. They're not going very far. Um, if you seriously think like Democrat news, like I don't even know what that is. Um, is Democracy Docket publishing a story about how the Trump administration is sending out threatening letters to get voter data. If that's Democrat media, then like I don't know what to tell you. Whatever, dude. You know. Um, never mind like the actual context of what's being read. No, you're just concerned about whether or not it fits into your preconceived bias, which is deeply concerning. That is the problem that we're facing here. Um, ultimately, and I hope maybe some introspection might be in order. Although I don't know if someone like you has that capacity. But anyways, um, yeah, it's pretty disturbing stuff. We're gonna keep track of that. Um, more Democrat media, Democrat news, I guess. Um, it's so ridiculous. Newsmax to pay 67 million to settle defamation lawsuit. Um, they're not in trouble. Rigging won't keep them up at night. No, no. I mean, like, I'm saying that they feel like the popular, but the populace is not really that on board. So they kind of have to resort to this stuff. No, they don't care. They don't care. If it was up to the Republicans, there wouldn't be elections. Let's be honest. If it was up to Republicans, there wouldn't be elections. They wouldn't have to go through all this rigmarole, this song and dance about how they pretend to care about democracy and pretend to care about elections, whatever. Yeah, they wouldn't be going through this. If it was up to just solely Republicans, they wouldn't have elections. It would just be done and over with. Um, but yeah. With me, it's got to worry about full-on Stalin, Mao-loving Marxist media. Forget about the Koch bot Democrats. I mean, like it's just like there's no such thing, right? Like seriously, there is no such thing. The Democratic Party as a whole doesn't have like some kind of like serious ingrainment with like media apparatus, like the Republican Party does. You know what I mean? Nothing keeps them up at night more than people having human rights and being aware of their exploitation. Yep. Christians not having to vote again basically means that's happening. I mean, they certainly are going to try. You should change your name to Democrat News. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just going to put up DNN, the Democrat News Network. You won't have to worry about voting after this. Yep. January 6th was forgotten pretty quickly. Yeah. By the right wing. I mean, do we even talk about January 6th that often? No, we don't. As far as like media. Um, but yeah, more Democrat news here. Newsmax to pay 67 million to settle the defamation lawsuit from a voting machine company. The conservative news cable, conservative, sure. Let me adjust that. The far right news cable channel, the far right media channel, because I'm not gonna. Let me step back for a second. The far right media channel Newsmax will pay 67 million to settle a defamation lawsuit brought by Dominion over baseless claims that the 2020 presidential election was rigged. According to a new regulatory filing, the settlement averts what promised to be a high-profile trial, which, of course, Newsmax would not want because all the stuff would come out. More evidence. Not that you need evidence that this was rigged, that this was not rigged. We've already gone through that. What the hell kind of weed was that person about? Like, who cares? I don't know. I don't know. They had no idea. They're just speaking out of their arse. Is what really was happening there. Um, Newsmax and Dominion agreed to settlement on Friday, according to the Security and Exchange Commission filing. The payments will be made in 3 installments by January 2027. We're pleased to have settled the matter, said Dominion spokesperson in response to a comment. In a statement, Newsmax said it believed it was critically important for the American people to hear both sides of election disputes. No, actually, no. Like this is actually wild that this is the excuse that they're going with. Like, oh, both sides need to be heard. Like, no. Why would both sides need to be heard? Really. Um, seriously. Like it's like saying both sides need to be it's like saying for flat earth, like, oh, we need to have a deep conversation to involve both sides. Like, no, man, the earth isn't flat. What are you talking about? We know this. To be as nice to use the word arse. Hey, I tried to I tried to you know try. I don't curse that often for YouTube, so Greg Palast reported on the Jim Crow tactics getting used. Oh, it would not surprise me that they feel like they can start going back to it. January 6th had a real sinister, real insider military coup attempt whose failure was a response to. See Paul Jay's reporting on the Analyst.news. I do aim to please. I do aim to please. Newsmax was not required to apologize or issue a retraction, which is probably why they settled. Apart from actually like having this trial go public, um, uh, as part of the settlement, no additional details were immediately available. Yada yada yada. So I mean, like, what? What other? How many times do we have to rehash this? Right? Like, it was. How much evidence do we need to keep like presenting that this whole story was nonsense, right? To begin with, I'm imagining Newsmax, 67 million is a lot. Both sides were heard when the votes were counted. Right, exactly. In that sense, yes. But the point being is like, to have like this rehashed discussion of like, oh, well, we have to see if it was like fraud or like whatever. Like, nah, we don't. We already did that. The election happened. Lily's so exhausted of the narrative that everyone's opinion deserves to be heard, especially dealing with people who refuse to acknowledge experts in science. Right, like, exactly. Not everyone's opinion is equal, not everyone's opinion is valid, and not everyone's opinion needs to be heard. Like flat earthers, right? Or climate change deniers, or these election deniers, or these anti-vax people, or these fascist people, right? Like, no, your opinions, because they are opinions, really don't need to be heard. Like, who cares? You believe, like, for example, these like fascists, like you believe in an ethno state. Who cares? Like, opinion discarded, invalid. Your conservative ideology is leading you to try to remove human rights from people. I don't care. I don't need another framing. I don't need to hear what else you had to say, right? The same thing goes with like these anti-science people. Like, there's nothing. We're not having a debate about whether or not actual reality is true. If someone says you have no right to exist, there's no middle ground. Correct. The same goes for these like anti-vax people, or these anti-climate change denial people. Like, we're not having a discussion over reality. Like, it's a silly conversation to be had. Like, I'm not going to sit here and argue whether or not I'm holding a can. I'm holding a can of seltzer water. Like, there's no two sides to this. I'm holding this can as clear as day, as clear as this image on the camera is. There's nothing else to it. It's end of discussion. The climate crisis is real. vaccines are effective in the manner that they're being deployed, and that's all there's to it. You all have to agree on what's reality exactly, and that's kind of the problem that has led me, and I've said this, ad nauseum at this point, that the reason why I'm not as engaging and I'm not as charitable as I used to be. I mean, you can go back to um, my old content. I used to be more of a person that tried to actually convince people, and I would, to a degree, I still kind of get myself into fights and comment sections. Sorry, uh, but over time, over these last couple years, especially in last couple years, I would say like 5 years, 6 years, maybe some, maybe more. But anyways, the point is, the longer time has gone on, the less conciliatory I am, and the less willing I am to engage, because you have to have some kind of base in reality, and that can't be. If I'm talking to somebody who just doesn't believe in basic reality, like, oh, the election, the 2020 election was rigged, Donald Trump actually won that election, like there's nothing there's nothing there. Like, you're just wrong. Something off topic. There's rabbits in Colorado growing tentacles. Yeah, some kind of fungus or something. It's others trying to see the climate change deniers try to explain the threats to annex Greenland and Canada, and the neocons map of Russia split into 10 banana republic run states. That's the whole Jubilee problem. They make it look like two equal sides of an issue when it's not. Yeah, exactly. Like, the last time I saw a right winger on Jubilee was Ben Shapiro, and when did he go on? Right, Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson, and that's about it. But when the left goes on, they literally surround the left winger with like neo Nazis, you know. Reality involves history, which is a state secret in most cases. I mean, but like, there is a certain like objective um, truth, right? Like, when you're talking about, I don't know, climate change, or when you're talking about whether or not the 2020 election was rigged, or whether or not you're talking about the COVID vaccine. I mean, like, I'm just not gonna sit here and argue with people. Not anymore. Like, I'm tired, boss. I'm not. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm not gonna sit here and try to argue with you, or argue with somebody that vaccines cause whatever, when that was never the case. Rabbits getting tentacles. It's I think it's more like some kind of fungus or some kind of ailment that happened. Ground level news. Welcome. It's some kind of sickness that they've got. I can look it up. I'll tell you right now before we mosey on out of here. Rabbits. Come back. Jeez, it's like the top Google search. It's actually a virus. It's actually I don't want to say normal, but it's actually common in the summer. Um, the virus is called the Shope papilloma virus, or SPV, which causes wart-like waxy growths on a rabbit's face and is spread through biting insects like fleas or ticks. I mean, like, so far, it really doesn't affect us humans. And most rabbits do survive the infection. So everything's all good. Where's your signature hat? It's too hot for me to wear it. I have it here. It's just too hot. Even now, as I've been here for a couple hours, almost 2 hours. Um, it's just too hot. I still live in Fort Collins, where this is happening. The real issue on the election rigging is the right rig 2024, 2008, 1980, and 1968. Yeah, and the 2026 midterms that they're trying to. I'm so used to seeing it. Are you well? I'm good. I'm good. It's just hot in the place that I'm in the undisclosed location that I'm in. Frisky Bunny, new band name. Let me get out of here and put on this one here. There you go. The Last of Us. That's a scary thought. That is a scary thought. I want to see you sweat. I'm good. I'm personally good. Didn't you have a beard? I did. It's not anymore. I did. Well, I had. I don't know if I would call it a beard, but yeah. I mean, I guess you would call it a beard. I always respect your powerful anonymity. Legit. Yeah. There you go. This is a good look. There you go. That's all the approval I need, honestly. New band name, Horned Bunnies. Nice. That's a good view. I like this better. Yeah, I was just sharing the screen. I didn't even know that I could share the screen, to be honest. Um, I didn't even know I could share the screen. But I can. Back home tomorrow? Yep, I'll be back to the normal studio tomorrow for the This Space show. Yeah, everything will be back to normal going forward. Same time, the rest of the streams this week will be on at the same time. Everything will be back to normal going forward. Will you ever run for politics? You should. That's something I've considered. I just don't know if I have if I have the ability to do so. How would I do it without being without being attached to like a political party apparatus, and be successful, right? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe something local. Um, maybe something local. I still like guinea pigs in space. My next handle. Ha! The Iran Contra crew that took over in 1980 has never left power. Reagan. Maybe check your local DSA. I would, yeah, I would honestly, that would be fine. That would be a political arm that I would be in favor of joining. You're one of the only streamers that's genuine and has an honest message on most things. I think that's your strategy. I mean, yeah, I would pretty much run as I would run as myself, right? Like there would be there's no like alter ego. There's no other character. Um, the Clinton Koch DLC takeover, the Dems mean they kept power in both Dems and Republican administration. Yep. Hassan is crashing out. Why is Hassan crashing out? Yeah, I mean, I think definitely. If you can't directly join DSA, I mean, you can support them. You can post stuff on social media. There's lots of stuff you can do as an individual. He does seem annoyed. Is it chat? Is it chat? The thing is not, and the thing is not to sound too bad. You're very charismatic at getting people to agree with you. I mean, I can be. It's not getting heat from his community. Oh, I mean, when isn't that happening? To be honest, when isn't that happening? I saw something about Hassan Ethan as being a real pest. Ugh, what a loathsome individual. Who's Ethan? Nobody. Nobody. But also, I'd be raging if I streamed 7 days and 8 hours a week. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, let's not. No, nobody needs to know who Ethan is. Hassan's getting accused of platforming someone who his community doesn't like. I mean, I have over the Dust interview. Gotcha. I don't know if it shows very clearly on camera, but someone said they wanted to see me sweat. Well, I'm sweating. Ethan's like a giant gnat hovering over Hassan's face. But I've heard if you piss Hassan off, they won't regret it. I mean, I don't know. It's very influential. I'm not about that drama life. Godspeed. Godspeed. Take your hat too. Oh, I definitely think Hassan is great, especially like for all the work and activism he's done. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, he's not perfect, I say, but nobody is. Neither am I. Right? Take your hat off. What hat? He's a net positive for the left. Exactly. Exactly. Hassan didn't know he was platforming a Zionist. Hassan's very charismatic about what he believes in. Because, I mean, he believes in it. I don't know. Like, it seems, yeah. Jesus, bad lefty. I think it at least raises the question about purity activism on the left. I mean, like, it depends, right? um, I think like I think the criticism would be like, hey, um, perhaps the criticism would be more along the lines of like, hey, perhaps we should maybe take time to research who the guests are, um, in your channel. But like, I mean, I'm not, it's obviously like, I don't think that Hassan is like platforming Zionists on purpose, right? But what I would say is like, yeah, perhaps maybe we should take a little more time to perhaps make sure who we're platforming. Again, I don't know the context of the situation. I'm just saying. Me too. He even agreed he should have. Okay, well then there you go. I mean, there you go. There you go. Especially someone, yeah, I've made this criticism, especially with someone like Hassan's channel. Um, it's a very big channel. It's a very influential channel. I'm not saying that he did it on purpose, but like, that would be my criticism. He needs a researcher, 100%, 100%. All right, folks, it's time for me to get out of here. It's almost 9 o'clock, so I need to get out of here. Thank you all for being here. It's going to be a sudden a sudden break. I don't have like an outro, but thank you. Um, yeah, he and David Doe are one man band. I'm a one man band too, but I don't do the kind of stuff that they do. To be fair, actually, no, that's not true. I'm not a one man band. There's moderators. There's like, well, I mean, Hassan has mods too, I guess. Anyways, um, the point is, thank y'all for being here. I've got no outro, so it is what it is. But thank you all for being here. Thank you to the mods. Thank you, Heat. Thank you, Michael Hesser, for modding the chat. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Ground level news. Appreciate all of you being here. Thank you for your support. Ladybug, make your own music. I did. Well, no, actually, no, I don't use my own music. I use my friend's band's music. Huh. Listen to your own inner song. Yeah, there you go. Pretend. Okay, pretend that we're playing an outro music and it'll all work out. Thank you. As always, folks, if you want to support the channel, make sure you check out all the links, all the stuff. Thank you, Bad Lefty. Appreciate it. As always, folks. And join the Discord, folks. Join the Discord. Seriously. Seriously, join the Discord. Lots of cool stuff happening. Movie events, stuff like that. I'm hungry too. I haven't eaten. I haven't eaten at all. I've been busting missions here. So I totally feel you. I totally feel you, Heat. Let's get some food. Let's get some food in us. All right? Let's do it. I'll create an outro for you. I did it for Jake. Yeah, I need to have like a dedicated outro video that I can just put up. I have an intro, but I don't have... Well, I guess the intro can be used as an outro, Anyways, let's get some food. We deserve it. Chicken ramen. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Thank you, George Waters. Appreciate everyone. Thank you. Do all the things, folks. As always, folks, please stay safe. I'm going to raid out over here. Before we go, of course. Before we go, make sure I got everything going. There we go. All right, folks. Thank you all for being here. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on this space. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye. Thank y'all. Appreciate